My family was always super close, except for the time when my dad was representing OJ, and my mom was Nicole's best friend.
Hey, Nick, say something. What? I don't know.
The Kardashian family's intimate connections with O.J. Simpson and Nicole Brown Simpson eventually led to one of the most challenging inner conflicts in the family. Robert Kardashian and the family matriarch, Kris Jenner, found themselves bitterly divided over their respective positions in what would later be branded as the trial of the century. Kris took her side along Nicole's grieving ones, while across the aisle, Robert was seated next to accused murderer O.J., having readily stepped up to represent his longtime friend in the trial. The great divide trickled down to their young children, who were forced to take sides. Kim Kardashian, who was just 13 years old at the time, recalled in a 2020 interview with David Letterman how the trial tore her family apart.
You know, she was believed that, her friend was murdered by him, and that was really traumatizing for her. And then we'd go to my dad's house, and it was a whole other situation there. And it would be like Johnny Cochran, Bob Shapiro, my dad, like the whole team. So we didn't really know what to believe or whose side to take as kids, because we didn't want to hurt one of our parents' feelings.
Kim also spoke about the extent of false news that was peddled at the time, making the entire incident her first brush with the media.
There was all these cameras outside, and then that night on hard copy, it said, Robert Kardashian's mistress pulling up to his house. And I was like, oh my God, like I couldn't believe it that they were making this stuff up. And that was like my first real lesson with the media.
When Kris Jenner was just 17 years old, her late ex-husband, Robert Kardashian Sr., introduced her to Nicole Brown Simpson and O.J. Simpson. The two families were incredibly close. For nearly 2 decades, the Kardashian-Simpson clans shared vacations with their children, celebrated countless birthdays, and supported each other through good times and bad. The Kardashian kids even referred to them as auntie and uncle at the height of the family's friendship. For Kris, the murder of Nicole and the subsequent trial were deeply personal. I went to bed one night, and I woke up the next morning, and my entire universe had changed. They were two of the best friends I ever had in my entire life. They were my family. She added, O.J. was like my big brother. So I not only mourned the loss of Nicole, but I mourned the loss of O.J. and that relationship. Robert and O.J. initially crossed paths in 1967 during O.J.'s tenure as the star running back for the University of Southern California Trojans, while Robert served as a sort of glorified water boy. Several years later, their paths intersected again while playing tennis at a mutual friend's residence. By this time, Robert had risen to prominence as a highly successful entertainment businessman and lawyer, while O.J. had achieved hero status as a player for the Buffalo Bills. Their relationship blossomed quickly, evolving from acquaintances to close friends and business partners. Leveraging O.J.'s famous nickname, The Juice, they ventured into business together, establishing a chain of yogurt and juice stores under the name Juice Inc. O.J.'s affection for Nicole often manifested in explosive bursts of violence. Their tumultuous 13-year relationship was characterized by episodes of anger followed by reconciliation. In one instance, O.J. punched Nicole, but he later attempted to make amends by purchasing her a Porsche. On New Year's Eve 1988, O.J. assaulted Nicole so severely that she required hospitalization. The former football star repeatedly threatened, "I'll kill you." This incident marked the 9th time police had intervened in domestic disputes at their Brentwood residence. Nicole and O.J. finalized their divorce in 1993, a year prior to the discovery of her lifeless body, brutally murdered outside her condominium. Following the tragedy, Robert, despite not practicing law for over 2 decades, reinstated his legal license to join O.J.'s renowned Dream Team of defense attorneys, alongside figures like Johnnie Cochran and Robert Shapiro. Right before the trial started, Robert sat down and wrote us a handwritten letter and just said, "Look, I know you don't agree with what is going down here, but this is what I have to do for my friend," Chris recalled during a 2009 interview with Dr. Phil. Despite her strong opposition to his choice, Chris recalled how Robert stood by his conviction. It was Cochran who famously declared, "If the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit," during the trial, when a pair of bloody gloves was presented as evidence that appeared too small for O.J.'s hands. Chris asserted that she accompanied Nicole to purchase those gloves as a gift for O.J. earlier that year, while they were in New York City. In 1987, Chris and Robert's marriage was all but over after the birth of their fourth child, Robert Jr. She began an affair with a young man who, at 23, was 10 years her junior. Despite her infidelity, O.J. was protective of Chris, like a big brother. Chris married Caitlin, formerly Bruce, in 1991 after her divorce from Robert was finalized. She attended the court hearings throughout her entire pregnancy with daughter, Kendall Jenner, and later honored her murdered friend by giving Kendall the middle name of Nicole. In reaction to news of O.J.'s death, Caitlin posted to his ex, "Good riddance," with Kris Jenner siding with Nicole and Robert siding with O.J. The murder case broke several ties within the Kardashian family, impacting their dynamics forever. Do you think the Kardashian family could have taken a more neutral stance to protect their family ties? Tell us in the comments below.